I used to have a podcast, A Teaspoon of Healing, and I'm still doing it. It was talk only. It's been going for years, and I still will release some occasionally, but I really miss the music. But anyways, oftentimes I would have guests. I've had a lot of guests, and sometimes I would just share little tidbits that help me. And as I mentioned in the 7 a.m. hour, I am not a psychologist, so I can't give emotional health or mental health advice or anything like that. These are just some things that help me. So here it is. And this is about calling back your energy. And this is really important, especially when you're going to try to create something, do something new. If you're going to start a business, for example, or if you're just going to start, you're going to start writing that novel you've promised yourself you were going to write, right? So the thing is, it's really important to call back your energy. And our energy gets sapped so much nowadays from important things, obviously, taking care of our kids, and we have to do our job. We have our good friends and our family. I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about other things. They can be people or they can be things outside of us. Things outside of us like the news, social media, reels, TikToks, just a lot of opinions, a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, and a lot of it siphons our energy, right? If you think about it. And also some people, unfortunately, I can use the term energy vampires, and I don't want to be mean because some people can be energy vampires to one person, but not another. And these are not people that are our friends or anything like that. But all of us can have had interactions with someone like this or people like this. And it's not a judgment. Maybe they're really nice to everybody else. So they can literally siphon your energy and can be really controlling, and we need to be able to call that back. So how can we do that? Well, you simply just say, or just think it to yourself, I call back my energy. I call back my energy. And this really works. Even if you're at work, if you're dealing with your boss, they're driving you nuts, you're just dealing with an annoying coworker, there can be some energy vampires there, right? Just think it. Probably don't want to say it because everybody's going to just think, well, what are you doing? But just think it. I call back my energy. The moment people start draining you, you start to get angry, I call back my energy. It is so powerful. And it can get you centered in a place of peace. And that's just good for calming anxiety. And also, again, if you want to create something, if you want to do something, if you're thinking about going back to school, starting a business, have some new ideas you're throwing around, you need all that energy. Again, we need to give that energy to our family, raising our kids, working, taking care of family members. That's important. And also, it's great to help people. Of course, we want to help people and give, but make sure, what are you getting in return? And I'm not saying for people that you're caring for or helping people in a charitable way. That's not about getting something in return. But just make sure you fill your cup and you take that energy back after. And I call back my energy. And you can even do this if you're on social media, you're scrolling reels and you're just seeing some opinions or you're seeing some things that make you really angry. I call back my energy. It literally is an energy siphon. Of course, you can just put the phone away, but you can make sure to call it back. Getting into that place, getting into the zone, getting centered when you want to create something. If you want to start something new, you really need to have that energy for yourself. And it might seem really selfish, and some people might not like it. The people that love you and respect you, they're going to be okay with it. So simply say or think to yourself, I call back my energy. And do this as often as you need to. And I'm going to say one other thing. This is kind of important. When you're about to do something, say you're about to launch something, you're about to launch your business, or you're about to release a book, you want to get something published. Really try hard not to tell a lot of people beforehand, or try to tell as little people as possible. The reason why, there's nothing, of course you want to share it with your friends, your family, you're so excited. Before it's ready or final, if you do that, it actually siphons energy. You get a dopamine hit. You get a dopamine hit just for announcing it, just for literally saying this is what's happening. And then actually studies say this. It's really true that you would be less likely to release that or even start the business. Most likely you will, but many times we don't because we're getting that dopamine hit already. Our brain doesn't know. So that is an energy siphon because it takes that precious energy you can just use to launch it, and then you tell everybody. So that is something we often don't think about, and that's something most of us have done. And it also leaves you open to copycats, things like this, if the word gets out. So just being very careful, especially if it's a business, you have a business idea. Keep that close to your chest until you're ready, because that's an energy siphon. So again, the takeaway is I call back my energy. And it might sound silly, it might sound cheesy, but it really works. I call back my energy. And breathe in deeply, relax, and there you go. It's a little harder to do it in a stressful situation, but it can be really, really helpful. And again, help you deal with either pings and notifications, stressful situations, or energy vampires. And you'll be able to identify what an energy vampire is just by how you feel. Just see how it makes you feel. If you feel completely drained after being around that person, just around doing something, because it could also just be an activity or just something that doesn't work for you, be very mindful of how you feel and call back your energy. So I hope that was helpful. That was a little teaspoon of a tidbit of healing, I guess. Not really healing, but again, I'm not a psychologist. Just some things that have helped me. It's really helped me because we need all that energy.